Why can't everyone have this resource where they can find the right customers and suppliers? Why should we spend thousands of pounds like everyone else's platforms to be seen? You're also hearing about these businesses where they're subbing it out to abroad. And for us, it's about all these UK businesses. Why don't you go back to a UK company and say, like, this is what Romania can do for me. How much can you do for me? They might say it's the same price. They might say it's 5 pence more or something. For the amount of products they was asking for, they was making like 90 products. So what's 5p on 90 products? Is it that much to ship the whole job out to Romania?
Where'd you get this like passion and drive from on it? Because you're obsessed with it, aren't you? When you're talking about coming home from work, going for it, not many people can do that. Where's it come from?
For me, it's every time I get a message back from someone saying they've had something. I mean, my thrill is these businesses getting leads or getting sales. We've had dozens of people already message saying they've had leads or sales out of it, because it means it's easily paid for, and for the sake of £50, it's a no-brainer.
The Metal Guys Talk Business podcast is brought to you by Compton Group, a specialist recruitment agency working in the metal, manufacturing and engineering sectors.
Hey guys, Peter Mike, the Metal Guys.
We're joined today by Richard Patch of the ManufacturersHub. Thanks for joining us. Sorry it's taken us more than an hour to set up. If we can start with the business ManufacturersHub, what is it? How did it start? Give me the pitch.
Well, yeah, ManufacturersHub kind of started before as a database for the company I was working for before. It was a trying to get them in the industry, find more customers, suppliers, and just getting their name out there. But I was trying to find more businesses they can work with, who they can get there, giving more alternatives of who they can get products from if they can't get them in time. So after this database came together of customers and suppliers, I decided, actually, why don't kind of everyone have this? Why can't everyone have this resource where they can find the right customers and suppliers? So it started off just manufacturers and suppliers. But then as I kind of went to Kevin Heron, who's the business partner, web designer, and I said to him, obviously about building it, it kind of turned into more. So it's kind of, with both of our inputs, it's turned into such a big kind of beast really now. It's just huge, just what the potential could be.
You're working, doing like BD effectively. Was that kind of how you started this database idea up? How did you kind of get this idea of, right, I need to win more customers or find more people? How did it kind of start? Because most of these things, they like germinate for a while, don't they? And all of a sudden you're like, I've just got to like kind of do this now.
Well, it started with like obviously doing the BD for Sims in the day job. It was working out. I was doing LinkedIn all the time for them, creating posts and kind of building their page, trying to get as many people following it as possible. So every time I was putting pictures up of their machines or whatever it was, I was trying to gain them kind of possible leads. And then from there, I'm seeing all these other competitors in the market of what they're doing. I'm finding more and more suppliers or customers they could potentially kind of go in as Sims. And I was just noticing that we're not in any of them. Why are all our competitors in them? I was seeing it all on LinkedIn. Why are they in them, but we're not? So I built this database of the customers they can potentially be in. And so I was tracking back of who I've contacted and where I've spoke to them, when I've spoke to them, and just trying to create leads really for them.
Did you have a CRM? Because this is one of the things like Mike and I talk about a lot with businesses, that sometimes they do big turnover, some business, they don't really track what they're doing. Unless they're using, say, a Salesforce or something like that. A lot of businesses, it's a bit kind of, it's almost old school still. So was your business like that?
Everything's word of mouth. Everything's repeat customers or word of mouth. If it's like one of the engineers goes to a new company, it was, they'd possibly say, oh, have you tried these? We used them in the last company. So none of it was no sales whatsoever. Over 40 odd years, no sales whatsoever. So for me, I'm keen to kind of push the company on and progress and trying to, for me, it was like solidifying myself in that company for the next 30 years. I'm still just over 30. I've still got 30 years left to go. So I like my job, love the job kind of thing. So trying to make sure that I can stay there until I retire. So getting them new customers and leads and building the company behind it was me solidifying myself for the next 30 years.
What you're doing now, I think you mentioned you're trying to get 366 companies? And
yeah, 10 months in ManufacturersHub, we're 330 businesses on there already. For the year, 365 days. If we can get 365 businesses in the year, that's a great kind of first year. And
how does it work? So, if someone wants to register or someone's trying to find a supplier, how does the system work?
So going onto the main website, you've got the manufacturers kind of sector, you've got suppliers, you've got service providers. Each kind of category is then categorized again into what kind of part of the industry in. So if they're precision engineering, if they're automation, if they're automotive manufacturers, everything's categorized. And then from those categories is then filtered. So this is how you kind of stand your business out. So if I'm a precision engineering company that specializes in aerospace, or I specialize in marine, or I specialize in pharmaceutical, everyone can filter to these areas. So whereas our platform is making every business allowed to be seen without spending the money, because of, I mean, say precision engineering example, there's over 1,000 engineering businesses in the UK for that, and there's only 10 spots on the front page of Google. So if anyone's looking and trying to be at the top of Google, they've got to either spend heavy to be there, or be like a heavy presence on LinkedIn or somewhere else. They've got to invest a lot of money into it. Whereas for us, everything's kind of filtered. So you can kind of just be on there, be registered. There's free accounts. There's a premium account, which allows you to have your filters. People can filter to you through there. As well as we also shout about these businesses on our LinkedIn as well. So it's just about getting everyone's name out there.
Because it's grown quick, hasn't it? Because I don't know when we first started chatting, but I don't know if it's in you first or ManufacturersHub. I can't remember which way around it was, but it seems to have just gathered quite a lot of momentum fast. I mean, you've got 6,000 plus followers already within 10 months. So it's like you're doing the right things, clearly.
It's constantly just kind of posting, it's being out there. I mean, if we wasn't posting as much, our name wouldn't be out there at all. But whereas I'm posting 5-6 times a day at the moment about different businesses, about the sectors in the industry, it's just what everyone wants. Everyone wants their name out there. But where we've got the presence, that's where I think everyone's trying to follow and trying to get their business seen, or it's putting you in front of other businesses. So, I might need a supplier, or I might need that manufacturer. If your name's there, but it's not just about the businesses that are on there. I mean, anyone could join. Absolutely anyone could join. You want your business to be shout about, you join the platform and we shout about your business, what you do. We'll bullet point everything you do as a company.
Because obviously, like back in the day, terrible phrase, I know, but people just used to go in the Yellow Pages. That was like your go-to. And it does seem like it's a bit like Yellow Pages effectively, but niche down into this sector. So was the problem that you were trying to solve just visibility? Was that what you were seeing was the problem? And you were like, right, there just isn't a thing that's doing this effectively. Like, what was it? What was the thing that you wanted to fix for people?
Where I was doing it for, say, Sims at the time, the daytime job, was I was doing everything I could for free. Everything I could possible to get them seen for free, whether it was LinkedIn or whether it was, eventually Kevin did their website as well. So they had a better presence and there was higher online. But where else could they get seen without spending the money? Like I could go to the exhibitions and I could try and talk to people at exhibitions, but without paying thousands of pounds for the stands there to exhibit, or without joining an association or an organization, which is spending hundreds to thousands of pounds a year, where could I get seen for as cheap as possible? But there's nowhere out there without spending the money. Everything you had to do, you had to spend a lot of money. So it was all about trying to value of how I could be seen.
Because your price point's low. I remember when I spoke to you and it was like, what, 50 quid or something to list.
Premium
And I was
is
like,
50, yeah.
I was like, right. And for Mike and I, like we do, we do a football tournament. It's like 500 quid. So it's more expensive than listing on yours. But even for that amount, it's actually a problem for us to get paid. Because because it's such a low amount of money, it's almost like a complete ball ache to put the invoice through or to get it paid. So like, I can imagine bigger companies, for instance, there's almost it's too cheap. And then it's like, well, I've got to raise a PO for this and the finance team gets involved and it has to go to board level. And it's like, it's 50 quid, mate. So like what have been the issues with that price point and why did you pick it so low?
It's making it affordable for everyone. Everyone joins not everyone. People join like organisations and these associations. You pay like thousands of pounds a year. It's thousands. Some of them started at like £200 and now they're like nearly £5,000 like a year. So, but they've only got a couple of hundred members. So, and they're all limited to one area of the country. Is where can everyone be in one place and be affordable? And that's the problem. I mean, we're well undercutting. Like I'm
Like 50 quid though, mate.
I'm like
50 quid.
I'm losing money doing it. By the time I'm spending every night doing posts and stuff, I know that we should be charging more, but we need it to be affordable. So if it's not affordable, we're not going to get the volume, and the whole platform works with volume. So the more people want, the more people are seen. So the more people following, the more people are seen. It's just getting the traffic to the site. But if we put the price there, no one's going to use it. Why should we spend thousands of pounds like everyone else's platforms to be seen?
What are the successes that have come through the platform?
I'm getting messages all the time of different people that are on there where they're, oh, you've posted about us today on LinkedIn, I've just had a lead from it. Or we've had, say, software guys that have joined the other week, and then suddenly a week later we've sold 20 grand's worth of software. So it's one lead is pays for the premium membership on there of us posting about them. But we've had dozens of people already message saying they've had leads or sales out of it. So that's, for me, that's a win. That's a win every time. I feel good every time I hear back from someone saying, oh, I've had a lead, I've had sales from it, because it means it's easily paid for it. And for the sake of £50, that for them, it's like it's a no-brainer.
Where would you like for it to go to? I mean, what's your initial short-term goals?
Short-term goals is quickly as possible to run the platform full-time. So the quicker we can get to, so at the moment it's going to be like 2,000 paying members, is both of us is near enough full-time. But the industry alone, I mean, there's hundreds of thousands of businesses in the UK in the manufacturing industry, like 100,000 manufacturers. So to get even 10% of those businesses on is enough visibility for everyone. It's enough businesses on. It means people are going to use it. So for 300,000 businesses in the industry, probably more than that, it's a lot of traffic to the site for everyone to be seen. You think, like, LinkedIn's great and it's free and everyone can use it, but LinkedIn's global. So actually, if you just want a UK business trying to get more UK businesses to see you, why don't we have this one place just for UK manufacturing? So hundreds of thousands of businesses for the UK manufacturing there's one place, and that's it. There's no other place like kind of ManufacturersHub.
We were talking about before we started this podcast, it's like there's lots of people who have ideas of things that they want to do, but you've got a job. And when Mike and I, when we set up, I was in a position where I didn't have a job. I was in a process where I was like, oh, I need to do something. Mike was kind of in that flux of moving around, and I think our situation just aligned that we were at the right point at the right time, and we thought, yeah, let's just do this thing. For you, you've got a job. You've been in a job with a company for a long period of time. You got this germ of an idea with your mate Kev, but basically you got a job. So how do you have a job and then start something up that's effectively still in the kind of the same sector? Like, how did that conversation come about with, like, the people who are running your business? Because you can imagine, or most people listening be like, oh yeah, I don't know if I could set something up like that, because it'd be an absolute nightmare with the people I'm working with. So how did you kind of iron that out?
Obviously, I was having the idea. Obviously, I went straight to them. Everything's visible. I want them to know straight away, nothing kind of hidden behind their back. I went to them and said, look, I've got this idea. I'm starting this up. So I've started it. And they basically just said, good luck to you. So I went straight to the director, straight to the top. He runs the business as it is, so he knows about running businesses. But it's just like, good luck, Jan. That was it. And until now, it's a bit different now that it's growing, and maybe they thought at the time, oh, this is going to be nothing. But now actually it's growing and people are joining, and it's actually working out to be a proper kind of platform and business. Things are slightly different, but I still do all my hours with them. I don't do nothing of my own business in their time. So I'll make sure of that. Everything's done on my own time, whether it's, say, break times or whether it's all after work. It's all in the evenings. Every post is scheduled in the evening or weekends. So it's a lot of time. Daytimes don't stop till near enough midnight at the moment. So it's posting every day. It's scheduling everything for the next day. So if you see ManufacturersHub posting throughout the day, it's because I've set up the night before till midnight, scheduling everyone's posts and crossing off who I've posted about this week and that week, and just trying to get ahead. Even when I was on holiday last week, was every evening still scheduling posts for the week, so nothing stopped.
How have you found that? Because obviously one thing you see on LinkedIn and a lot of people, work-life balance. So your work-life balance, you don't have one. By the sounds of it, you know, if that's what you're doing, you don't have one. So when you've got a platform that you're trying to do as a startup, and you kind of, people are signing up. We spoke about like the £50. Like at the moment, it's like you're not seeing it as where you can think to get to where you want to be. But how do you get that motivation going then? Because it'd be so easy just to stop. You know, you think of loads of people who kind of do side hustles. Yeah, side hustles. It's probably a bit disrespectful to say that about what you're doing here, but you know what I mean? Like, people are trying to get a passive income, aren't they? You know, that's one thing that I think over the last few years has become quite popular. People are always constantly trying to get a passive income. But how do you keep the drive going to service the people who are paying, and for you to still be interested in doing it? You know, because how long have you been doing it for now? Just shy of 12 months?
10 months at the moment, 10 months.
Yeah.
So just shy of the first year. For me, it's every time I get a message back from someone saying they've had something. I mean, my thrill is these businesses getting leads or getting sales. And as well as every time someone joins up, it's, oh, someone else has joined up. And that kind of gives me the thrill of extra members. Like Kevin gets annoyed because all the time I'm messaging him saying, what numbers are we up to now? What numbers are we up to? Because it comes straight through whilst he's on the computer most of the time. But the growth of it is what drives me. Obviously work-life balance. There is a bit of work-life balance. I've got kids as well. So it's trying to find time for everything. I mean, I have my kids every other day and every other weekend being split up from my partner. But obviously the days that I don't have the kids is extra work in there. When the kids are in bed, I'm scheduling posts. I'm on the laptop. Even when I'm in my gym in the house, I'm on the bike creating posts or messaging people back. So I've got to balance it. It's a fine balance, but it's working at the moment. But obviously, one day it should hopefully pay off.
I think when you can get to that figure, if you can build it and you can do it full time, but it will just kind of become easier. Like once it kind of snowballs and you can actually kind of focus on it. But I think with most things, when you start up a business, you've just got to be a bit relentless, really. And I think, in your situation where you're working, you just haven't got enough hours in the day, really, have you? You just have to kind of make the best of it. Have you found having a business partner? Because it's another thing that, again, Mike and I, we talk about sometimes. You see people, they start up in businesses and stuff like that. And, one thing that's a commonality is they start moaning about the business partner almost from day dot, really. So how did you find working with Kev? Like, why did that happen? How's it kind of working that you both feel like you're on the same page?
Most of the time, it's bouncing ideas off each other. I mean, there's certain things that I like and certain things that he likes, and we do kind of like, we don't have arguments, but it's a case of this is the path I want to go down, and this is the path. Eventually, once we kind of bounce the ideas and have a discussion, it's a case of actually, this is where the future is. We've got to be careful where we tread and be very kind of strategic. As a business partner, Kev's great. Like he builds websites in his own time, has done for ages. He built obviously the Sims website, and he gets a lot of sites to the top of search engines, and that's why I went to him originally saying, like, if I'm going to do this, I was in massive investment with someone else. Or with Kev already knows the industry, he already builds websites, he's a perfect kind of business partner. So I went to him and said what about doing this? That's how it kind of come about, is that he knows the manufacturing industry, he's a web designer, so why not go to the expert already? But we're both on the same page. I think we've both gone to a lot of events and local events, and we pick up different things, what may benefit other businesses, and what benefit the platform. But every single thing is near enough been on the same page about. So it's good so far.
Do you suffer from any of these problems? Are you asking around your office trying to find a new supplier or source materials? Have you got aged or high-priced stock that you'd like to liquidate anonymously? Or would you like new business from customers that are guaranteed to pay you for your materials? If the answer to any of the above is yes, then you'll be pleased to know that the Metal Guys Talk Business podcast is sponsored by SteelBuy. SteelBuy are a digital platform revolutionising the way businesses trade metal products online. SteelBuy offers risk-free trading where sellers are guaranteed to be paid, and automated processing including certification, logistics and invoicing. The network of vetted buyers and sellers is continually growing, and it's all housed in an easy-to-use trading platform accessible on any device. The online business-to-business marketplace for products is rapidly gathering pace, and SteelBuy are ideally positioned to capture the changing demands of steel buyers. So check out SteelBuy today and be part of the future of metal trading. Now let's jump back into the podcast.
It can always be a challenge, especially when you've got different ideas. But I think it's like any relationship, isn't it? You almost got to know the ones that you kind of, I wouldn't say win, but the kind of the ones that you almost don't want to back down on, and the other ones where you're almost like, well, that's the right idea, isn't it? I think we see a lot of people who start up and the business partner, it's almost, I think at the start where it's not a business, it's something to start. Sometimes with business partner, very little thought goes into it. It's almost like, I've got this idea, you almost want someone to come along as a comfort blanket to come along, and then as you put more time in sometimes, or the other person puts more time in, it's making sure that you come together, isn't it? So I think at certain times, especially like year one, like you were almost like doing that many hours after work doing stuff, and I was almost still treating it as like the 9 to 5 kind of job. It's almost like
I don't do any hours anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, but there was a time there wasn't, like the video interviews, when we was doing the video interviews, you'd do every single one, wasn't it?
At the start.
Yeah.
At the start. But that's just like, it's just what it is, isn't it? And you were doing other stuff.
Yeah, I weren't.
Well,
Be honest.
you got there.
Yeah, I got there. Yeah, year two.
Yeah.
Year
But
two,
no,
was,
I
year
think-
two was great, mate.
I think it's a thing. I think with, it's obviously you've obviously got a good business partner to start with because of skill set, but you worked with him anyway, hadn't you?
I've
Like, you
worked for
work-
like 11 years.
Yeah,
I
so
know
it's
him,
like
so-
I think that really helps that you've already got someone in there, because it's definitely something, as Mike was alluding to. You can end up with an idea and someone just comes along straight away and they're just not the right person. So yeah, hopefully that relationship can continue to, because I was wondering why he wasn't here today. Did you not invite him?
He's busy because of he's busy.
He's
Busy
at work.
working.
He's doing a
He's
post.
work-
He's doing a post on a treadmill.
He's doing the day job.
Yeah.
We're trying to balance all our annual leave as well, obviously, because I'm taking annual leave today to be able to do this. So it's balancing all of our holidays. So whenever we can maximise what we're doing for the hub out of the time we have, even with our annual leave, trying to leave to do things for the hub as well. It's a case of here's stay back for this one and maybe come out for the next one.
How are you signing people up to the platform? Because obviously in the day, you're working. So how have you signed up so many people?
It's all messaging everyone in the evenings pretty much, or break times. I schedule calls through the evenings and stuff as well, or the weekends. Friday afternoon is normally the time for all the Teams meetings and the phone calls. But it's a case of just directing them to the site, because we're trying to make it as easy as possible that everyone can look at the site, look at our LinkedIn and go back and find how to sign up. So once I've chatted to them about it and say, right, this is the easiest way to sign up, go to our sign up page, see the different benefits of our memberships, and that's where you sign up. So we need to make it as easy as possible for us on the backside. Obviously, we're working.
What membership options do you have then?
There is a completely free membership on there as well, which is basically just getting your business in your category. So if you're, say, a precision engineering business or an automation supplier, you can be in your category for that. You can have your logo in there, your website address, your business name, your location, and that's completely free. But if you want us to start posting about you on our LinkedIn, at the moment, obviously 6,000 followers. So especially with businesses that have got like 100 followers and they're trying to build their LinkedIn, suddenly now we're posting them to 6,000 businesses. It's a much bigger outreach as well. So, but premium, yeah, £50 a year. They also get a full business profile. You get YouTube videos on there. You get links directly back to your website, your opening times, your email address, everything from your website. You could have 20 pages on the website, but we've now consolidated down to one page, one profile for every business. That's the premium. We also have an affiliate. So an affiliate is basically the same as a premium, but you get extra banner space on the site in different categories. So if you're, say, an automation supplier that supplies sensors, just say, we could put you in a banner space in the automation manufacturer sector. So all of your potential customers can see your business name, brand awareness kind of thing. You'll be in that sector as well. So you get a couple of banner spaces. We post about you an extra couple of times on our LinkedIn as well. And we also you can offer a discount. So you can offer a discount to members. So some businesses are offering like 10% discount, I'm just saying, for members, because of that then puts them above their competitors. Oh, why should I go to them if I can go to them and get 10% off? It's not about trying to make a competition out of it. It's just about trying to get the most out of the membership for the site. So the affiliates give a discount to the premium members, which also helps the premium membership build up in the numbers. So it's worth them joining £50 because they might get a discount from the affiliates as well. Yeah. So the affiliate's going to get extra benefits of being seen more, plus they might get they should get more sales if they're being put ahead of obviously some of their competitors as well.
You mentioned Kev has obviously got a background building websites. He's done well with SEO and getting companies ranked. So obviously that makes sense. But obviously to get this website up and running, sometimes it can take 6 months to rank. It can take, and as we said off air, like there's plenty of spaces where there's nothing at the moment. There's you've got landing pages for stuff, but they're not populated out yet because obviously you're still kind of building the membership. So how are you going to try and get the website ranking itself, and how are you going to try and build that credibility of that website? What's kind of the plan and the outlook? Like, how long do you think it's going to take before you really start maybe dominating searches for manufacturing companies and some of those keywords that are going to be great to drive traffic to effectively your customers?
We are already in some kind of categories already. So
Okay.
certain searches, like Kevin's already written pages exactly how kind of search engines want. Yeah. So if you used to search precision engineering companies UK, just say we was top of Google for that. If you're looking for automation manufacturers, UK, we're top of Google. Anything kind of the normal person would search for about 20 different sectors, we was top. So we was getting all of the traffic, especially like, as I said earlier, is the precision engineering sector where there's 1,000 businesses and there's only 10 spots on Google. If we're at the top, we're now being seen for 1,000 businesses right at the top.
Yeah.
So that was, obviously that's the plan for that. So we are at the top of a lot of sectors. Depending on how many businesses are also working on their SEO in those sectors, is we're all still fighting for the top. That's what everyone's doing. So we're still fighting against those businesses to be at the top spot. But as we build the platform and as we get more members, these empty spaces or unregistered businesses, as they register to ManufacturersHub, it'll make our ranking go higher. So we're being ranked down at the moment by search engines for the non-registered businesses where we've just got a business name in there and a location. And as they start signing up their web address and their logos and things like that, Google or search engines will rank us higher off them as well. So as the platform builds, it'll forever keep growing with the SEO work, and as we get more traffic as well. So as for the future, it's going to constantly keep rising. Every time we look at our analytics with the SEO, it's constantly going up. It's always going up. So it's doing the right things at the moment.
Yeah, because I think sometimes people don't realise. Again, a lot of businesses that have got their own websites, because they just don't do anything with them. They build a website or they pay for someone to build a website, never do anything more with it. So its page rank's rubbish. There's no backlinks. There's no, like, it's just, it's almost like a leaflet rather than it being a website that is actually capturing data or, driving leads. So again, is that somewhere that you think you can start to, because of that skill set, you can get that page rank up? And is that the goal for some of these other businesses to say, look, we can actually tangibly start finding your leads. You're going to be able to rank effectively for these things that you can do much cheaper than actually building websites yourself. Because we almost debate sometimes, it's like, well, is there any point in having a website? Because the way social media has gone now, where it's capturing so much attention, or platforms like what you're trying to build are going to garner so much attention. It's like, is it worth spending whack on your own website when you could spend smaller sums of money potentially, positioning yourself where there's huge amounts of traffic? And I think that's quite an interesting.
Well, we've already got, I know there's 2 businesses already. One of them we had on our first podcast, Smart Tools. He doesn't even have a website. So everything is done by LinkedIn. All of his sales is done by LinkedIn. But when people search for CNC tooling suppliers or CNC tooling suppliers Essex, he's #1 on search engines through us. So we're at the top of search engines for him, and he doesn't even have a website.
Yeah.
So same as if you search CNC milling cutters Essex, something like that, all the CNC tooling, that's part of his keywords on his profile. He's ranking top or 4th place on Google, and it all then comes through us. They can look at his profile, right, I'll contact him to get our cutters.
And he's paying zero SEO. Like, he's not actually doing any.
So all he's paying is the premium fee for us, and all of his keywords are helping him boost his place race. We've also got, say, plastics industry suppliers with no websites. Everything's through kind of LinkedIn, really. So everything just directs back, all the links direct back to his LinkedIn, and everything, all of his kind of list is on there. Rather than him setting up an e-commerce shop, everything's on our kind of profile for them. But we've also just started an e-commerce shop as well. So same, obviously, because if they don't have these websites and e-commerce and they don't want to spend the money on e-commerce, is that these businesses can then sell their products through us. So that's what we've just started now, just about to launch. But so this Smart Tools will be the first business selling their tools on our site as well. So it saves them a lot of money starting their own site up when they can do it where we've got all the traffic for the industry.
And what you do, just take a commission out of those transactions, or?
Yeah, there'll be a small commission on that. It's minimal fee, because this is what it's about. It's about keeping the platform minimal for everyone, really. Is it like affordable, rather than charging some businesses that do subcontractor like £400 a month, and that's like £5,000 a year to be part of that. And that's quite a lot of money for businesses that if they get nothing out of it, that's a big outlay. So our kind of way is doing it as a small kind of cut. So if they get no sales, they're not paying nothing. Whereas they do get sales, they're paying a small fee. So they're not losing. They're always at a win. So that's what we want to try and do is create a place where they can sell and they're not spending out for something they're not getting.
Obviously, you've got like a great idea, and not these companies who are on there, obviously, they don't know really how to use these kind of platforms, do they? Or unaware of them. They don't have LinkedIn presence. They're only starting now. I think I think there was a time where manufacturing was booming from about 2020 onwards on the back of, COVID was booming. And now this year's, in a lot of sectors, been a really difficult year, which is now where they're almost trying to look at marketing spends or trying to market themselves the way that you was doing years ago, where you were kind of were open to it a lot quicker than certain people. But how do you continue doing it where obviously the one thing you talk quite passionately about is keeping it low for companies, really low. But how do you keep it where that keeps you engaged in what you're doing? Because it seems like the customer's winning massively, but then you're almost losing massively in a way, like, because it's like you're obviously, you're talking ahead, someone's got 20 grand all at the back of 50 quid. It's like, it's like putting £50 on at Ladbrokes and a freaking Uraka comes in. It's like, how do you keep it where you yourself and Kevin stay so engaged? Because to go from 50 to then getting to the point where it becomes really interesting for you, it's like, how do you deal with that challenge? Or if I'm sure you thought about it.
Part of this, I keep saying to Kevin really as well, is that my thought of the platform is like, so the social network, the film about Facebook, and it's about just getting the sheer numbers on before they even started having a look at ads and things like that. Is just getting sheer numbers, and that's what we're about. Is once we get the numbers on, like, it doesn't matter that a company's getting 20 grand, there's 50 quid. If we've got thousands of members, that's enough for us to run our platform. So we're not kind of greedy. We're not trying to take thousands from each business. It's a case of we're here for the volume. So once everyone's using it, all we're looking at is our affiliate fee and our premium fee, and that's enough for us. It's like, you think 100,000 businesses on there at 50 quid a pop, it's nothing for a business that are making 20 grand for their sales, but actually 100,000 businesses at 50 quid a pop is enough to run a platform, plus run an office if you need to run an office and a team, and it's enough to run a comfortable kind of platform for us.
Yeah.
So I know it's a small fee, but in volume, it works.
And have you tried ways of how are you marketing it other than a lot of yourself? You tried like sponsored ads to get people engaged, or have you had to kind of put your own money in and learn that way?
From the start, so we've paid for obviously backlinks and things like that to help us rank higher as well. And we're obviously looking at certificates and stuff, but in terms of our advertising, not yet. So everything we've done is completely driven off of our SEO, is completely driven off of our LinkedIn. We've been to events, and everything's about posts and going to events and talking to other businesses and word of mouth that way. For how much the sponsorship is exactly why we've created the platform in the first place, is because of the sponsorship that we're going to have to pay online is going to take a big chunk of the money we've obviously raised from the memberships of each person. So for us, it's at the moment not worth our investment yet. But as we carry on growing, we might have to kind of feel it out there. But where do you advertise? Because in manufacturing, I think it's absolutely pointless kind of advertising on Facebook or advertising on LinkedIn, Instagram.
Yeah.
Because of their closed kind of circuits, their closed networks. You could be advertising to a 16-year-old or a 17-year-old that's completing in working at McDonald's or something. So LinkedIn is obviously the place for, say, manufacturing or these events. Where else can you advertise other than the same paying for Google Ads or something like that for the manufacturing industry?
How do you think more widely, manufacturing businesses are doing? Because like you've worked, I'm looking back at your work experience, been in CNC, programming, engineering, maintenance, at the start, and obviously you've kind of moved really into business development. But like, what's your outlook? Because you're talking to a lot of manufacturing businesses now, so you're getting that ear on the ground. Like, how do you think we're set up in the UK? Do you think there's going to be a lot of change, a lot of digitalisation in terms of the way people are buying and selling their products? What's your thoughts more widely on where we are as a business or as a country?
At the moment, it's the thing, talking to the businesses I'm really talking to, it's a bit, some are quiet, some are really busy. I think the ones that are really busy are either from bigger contracts or they're putting their name out there a bit more. A lot of them are turning digital now, especially with some of the smart manufacturing grants and stuff they've been given around.
Yeah.
And I think the way is digital. Everything's going digital, really. Just trying to make it as easy as possible for each business to kind of profitize out of everything.
This episode is brought to you by Nero Pipeline Connections, the go-to supplier for stainless steel tube, fittings, valves and pipeline products across the UK. Whether you're in process, manufacturing or engineering, Nero makes sourcing simple. They've got over 12,000 products in stock, from BSP, fittings to flanges, valves and fasteners, and all are available for next day delivery. With ISO 9001 accreditation and an experienced team, they're built for businesses that can't afford downtime. So check out nero.co.uk to explore their full range. And now, back to the pod.
You know, when you're talking to some of these companies, everyone just wants more business, you know, and it's like sometimes it's lazy. You know, it's almost like, I want to get a load more business. I don't even know where to start. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do it. And I'm interested that you're trying to do something here, and it's obviously popping. It's obviously starting to go really quick, and business like, oh, this is interesting. Some of it's helpful, that price point, but the fact that you're getting the followers as well. I know you're pushing things out there, but people are obviously interested in it. So do you think businesses are in a right space to start building sites, start building their own platforms as well? Because you're never going to be in a silo where it's you're just going to do this one thing and nothing else is going to happen. Another business is going to try stuff. But are you feeling that people are interested, not just what you're doing, but also maybe there's that younger gen of people coming through that are going to be more digitally savvy? Is that the kind of conversations you're having? Or are you still feeling like it's business owners that are a little bit older and they're just struggling for leads, and it's like we're almost politely a bit clueless as to where to go to win it? You know, where are you seeing that? Do you think you're seeing a lot of people coming through that have got the right ideas, or do you think manufacturing in the UK is still a bit behind the times when it comes to SEO, websites, and actually going out there and doing good BD?
I think everyone is a lot behind, really. I think the industry is a lot behind when you speak to people, and a lot of them are kind of the older generation. I think where everything's just come through from repeat work, or from if their parents have owned a company and they've just had the same suppliers or same customers for 40 years. It's for them, I don't think they've ever needed to advertise. But yeah, as things are starting to get a bit tighter now and people are looking elsewhere, more and more people are now actually, I might as well join this, like for the sake of you pushing us out there as well. We might as well join and get our name out there. But a lot of it, say SEO wise, and a lot of businesses we're seeing still need their websites to be kind of redone. A lot of them, we're doing their websites and trying to build a profile around their site or the pictures they're uploading and links going back to their site, and they're not really working at all. So I think in terms of businesses need to invest a lot in their online game to be kind of seen and make it visible and worthwhile kind of customers coming to them. I mean, as soon as someone comes to a website that's pretty kind of pointless going on there, they don't really show any information about their businesses, people are just going to turn away. So it's a case of that's your shop window. That's like your newspaper rack in a shop window. You want people to see exactly what you do, exactly how you kind of ever done it, or where you want to be, or you need to kind of advertise yourself as best as possible. Otherwise, you're just going to lose the leads. So it's definitely something that people need to invest in is their websites, from what we've seen as well, and the SEO work.
I just think we're in a sector where when it's good, no one reinvests. They might reinvest in machinery, but they don't reinvest in the brand. You know, like we're obviously constantly BD and ringing companies. And sometimes you can look at a website and then you're speaking to the company and they employ 200 people. Their website's like just when the internet went boom, it's almost like they've just got the same existing website, just nothing on there, or it's not taken seriously.
I think when they're that big as well, they probably just think, why do I need to spend that money on that website?
Yeah.
But then when they're that big as well, as a website isn't much money at all. If you're employing 200 staff, a website could cost you like a few £1,000s, like as a good website. So that's nothing to a company that's employing 200 people.
Yeah, I still think there's like an arrogance to marketing in our sector. I still think there's an arrogance of people thinking they know everyone. And it's almost like, well, if you know everyone, you're not dealing with everyone, are you? Yeah. You know, there's so much stuff. And there's also companies who are constantly opening different divisions or looking at going into different sectors. And it's like what you might know about that account from years ago, that business might have changed completely.
It's like having a business all in like one basket, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's eggs in all in one basket. You lose that customer, where are you going? Well, where's your work? You've got to suddenly now fight and trying to find that work.
Yeah.
I know a few businesses that have recently kind of closed because of all their eggs are in one basket, relying on one person. But it all starts from the bottom, doesn't it? It starts from how you're advertising yourself, how your website is. And I think you need I'd rather be like turning work away than not getting it.
Yeah, 100%.
Even if you was to sub it to someone else, you can get the work and say, like, I'm too full at the moment. Can we do it in a week's time, 2 weeks' time? Or I know someone else that can do that, and pass it on. I mean, your friend or whoever that other company might pass work back your way.
Yeah. It's, we hear people say all the time as well, don't you? It's like, we don't want people knowing what we do. It's like, blows my mind. We come against it when we were trying to do the Metal magazine all the time, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, we knew ourselves, like, because of our background being in the sector, there were so many times that you'd be speaking to a client. I found it sound like the classic broken record here, but you get inquiries for stuff and you'd be like, well, what about, I know you might be selling some pipe or something. It's like, well, what about the fittings and flanges? They're like, oh, do you do them? And you're like, God's sake, man. Yeah, of course I do. That's like bread and butter. You know, you want some Shed 40 tube here. Is there anything else on there? And they're like, yeah, well, we've got a bit of Shed 160 as well. You're like, you want to stock that? I never knew. It's like, it's on my website. But no, again, that people aren't necessarily cross-selling that well. I think a lot of it's, a lot of it sounds horrible, but a lot of it's just people not being that good at selling for a start, but also just not showing, as Mike said, things on their website because they're scared that the competitors are going to see. And it's like, well, everyone knows what you do. Like, your competitors are going to know what you do because they're coming up against you and butting heads with you all the time. You'd be better to show it so that you've got some potential and some visibility so that you can win these orders.
You'd rather be seen than not seen. You'd rather that you get a work or even seen in the same kind of light as your competitors than for them to be the only person to be winning their work. So even if you'd rather be advertising against them, really, like at the same time, than losing out completely. So this is why also we've got our profiles, and on the profiles and the keywords is everything's bullet pointed, exactly what you do. So exactly where you're saying, like, the supplier might do tubing, on their profiles they'll even say they do flanges. It'll say you put all of your keywords on there, so it's basically all in one place. And so you've got the links off to different areas as well. That's what we're trying to do, is bring a 20-page website down to one profile.
Where would you like to see your platform within the next 12 months?
Well, sky's the limit, really. I don't know. It's a lot bigger than it is now, even if we can double. But I think with the scale as we're going at the moment, we should easily be triple of where we are now as we go. But I don't think it's going to be quite full-time yet in the next 12 months. But maybe 24 months, maybe 36 months, it'll be kind of full-time for us if we keep pushing. That's the thing for me, is to make it a full-time platform where I can spend. We've got so many more ideas, but we can't do them because of the time. So we've just literally not got the time to be able to invest in more things we want to do. Just say if we wanted to do kind of local events, or if we wanted to go and see a lot more customers and stuff ourselves. But obviously while we're working full-time, we can't invest that time. So in the next 24 months, to be able to try and push forward some of our ideas and actually start getting out to more businesses as well in person and seeing them as well. So
the Metal Guys Talk Business podcast is brought to you by Compton Group, a recruitment agency operating in the metal, manufacturing and engineering sectors. With a large, engaged network of candidates and clients, we help businesses make great hires in sales, operational, technical, quality and managerial roles, as well as assisting people in their careers by matching their unique skills and aspirations to businesses that are hiring. Having worked with more than 200 niche businesses since 2019, Compton Group have become the go-to recruitment partner for many of our industry's leading names. So talk to us about your next career move, or let us work with you on your business's next hire.
Compton Group, recruitment engineered for metal and manufacturing. It's a really interesting business model, though, because like there's so much stuff. If we go back to, as like Mark was talking about, side hustles and stuff earlier, like you see a lot of people that want recurring revenue businesses, which is what you're building. Like if I just ignore the customers for a moment, like you've got a market sector which is huge, you've got a price point which is easy to sign up. It's just a no-brainer. You've done it. It's that cheap. It's like, I may as well. What's the worst that can happen? I lose 50 quid. It's irrelevant. So I think you can scale it and get those repeat orders. And I think it's really interesting, like how, as this develops, because I think you can move your price point up, frankly. Like I think you can add in more layers, like Mike was saying. And I think you could grow this, and it, for yourself, like it could be such a great, it could be life-changing really as a business, because it's just so big. And also, like you mentioned it just being UK, like there's no reason you can't replicate this in like anywhere.
we have been asked. We've been asked to see if we can replicate it in America. We've been asked if we can do it in the UAE.
Don't you think it's mad when people ring you and instead of just copying it and doing it themselves, they go, "Oh, have you ever thought about doing this?" You're like, "Well, yeah, obviously."
So we have. I mean,
Of course I've thought about it.
but we've recently done our trademarking to trademark the site and the
Yeah.
logos and stuff of the site, so no one can kind of copy us really
Yeah.
in what we're trying to do for the future. The question there was, do you want it as an international trademark or do you want it as just a UK trademark? So at the moment, it was just no, we keep it as UK
Yeah.
because the UK industry is just big as it is. It's trying to talk to suddenly all these different countries as well. There's no time. There's no time to talk to just the UK really at the moment. And our passion is the UK really. If we can see it kind of grow and build and be a better industry, that's what we want. But the sky's the limit really. It could go into other countries, but how do you? I mean, I can't talk different languages. I know a little bit of French or a little bit of Spanish or something, but I can't talk fluent in those countries, like in those languages. So how would I talk to the engineers or the business owners in those countries?
I don't think you need to. I think you just set it up. People like at the moment, people just they go on the site, they find it, they register, run it through AI. It'll translate it for you. The landing pages are there. I think once it kind of starts gaining that traction, but I think it's one to watch really. I think as soon as we started looking at it, it was like, oh yeah, that's an interesting idea. And like most good ideas, it's so basic. It's just so simple, really. So, good luck with how it kind of pans out. But yeah, I'm just interested in kind of, you've said a lot about it's got to be cost effective for these clients. It's like, what would be the roadmap for you if you can get yourself to 2,000 members, which would be enough for you and Kev to go full time, I'm guessing, for the both of you. What's then the roadmap from 2,000? Because if you can do 365 in 12 months, like you could almost be at potentially you could be up to those kind of levels within the next 12 to 18 months. So how would you see that you'd then develop the business? Is it just going to be you two full time, or would you start bringing subbies in to start? Like what's because you must be.
We already spoke about this. We would have to start subbing people in, just for the sheer just doing the databases and just all of the small work behind is just kind of typing everything out. Really, it's just small work on the side. But you say time wise, yeah, 100% we get more people in. But yeah, it'll all obviously start from us going full time, maybe a day or 2 days or a week, depending on how obviously work goes with current employers.
Yeah.
And then yeah, take on someone part time or full time and grow as it goes. But obviously the sheer number of how many businesses are in the industry, it's got huge potential. So it's going to be a lot bigger than 2,000 is the plan. Even if we can get 10% in the industry, but ideally if we can get a bigger chunk than that, it'll work.
Because the bit for me when you were talking about, because I didn't even realise you were going to have a section where people could buy online. Like that's the thing. That's the bit. If you're making a cut of every deal, it's almost like an Amazon type of shopping site for all of these different products, subcontract machine, all sorts. I mean, there's plenty of businesses that are trying to do similar types of things where it's an aggregation site and businesses can put. I don't really think any of them have particularly worked that amazingly well yet, but it'd be interesting to see how you get on with that, because that's like lucrative as hell if you can start.
The thing for me, especially with the subcontract side that was there before, and seeing these companies that are like obviously take their massive fee up front, like it'd be hundreds of pounds straight away up front, and if they get nothing, if businesses get nothing out of it, it's a massive loss to them. Kind of, it's a big loss for a small business. But you're also hearing about these businesses where they're subbing it out to abroad. And for us, it's about all these UK businesses. Like we make it as cheap as we can. Obviously, for them, take a small cut off everyone. Great. Obviously, if it works, yeah, we should make quite a bit of money out of that as well. Obviously, on the volume of businesses or the volume of items that are sold on there. But yeah, it's about trying to keep everything for the UK and make it beneficial for the UK. Like someone I was talking to recently is, I've just subbed this out to Romania because it's cheaper. Well, you're an English business. Surely you should be trying to actually kind of promote the UK as well and giving it to. Why don't you go back to a UK company and say, like, this is what Romania can do for me. How much can you do for me? They might say it's the same price. They might say it's 5 pence more or something for the amount of products they was asking for. They was making like 90 products. So what's 5p on 90 products? Is it that much to ship the whole job out to Romania?
I know. It's frightening. It's frightening. Where'd you get this like passion and drive from on it? Because you're obsessed with it, aren't you? Like, when you're talking about coming home from work, going for it, not many people can do that. Where's it come from?
I I don't know, it's literally because of the sheer size of it and knowing what we're already doing for people. For me, it's just I like helping everyone. I help as many people as I can with business or without business. At home, friends, I help everyone. So for me, being able to actively help these people and seeing they're getting benefits out of it, that's all for me really. I mean, Kev, he's liking obviously some of the numbers as well, but it's yeah, for me, it's just all about helping people. So I win on people winning as well. So
Is there any things that you've done since doing it that you wish you wouldn't have done?
Recently I've said a few things on just say LinkedIn to people that are not bad things. Obviously just being a bit kind of having a laugh and stuff, and I've said certain things that might have come out slightly wrong, and I think that could be bad kind of press really. But I didn't really mean it in a bad way, but I could see actually if someone read it this way, it could be bad. So only things like that, nothing bad about the site and everything else. Obviously when you're starting to grow and you're trying to get your name out there, and I mean you've got to be so careful of what you say things, and some sensitive people out there. Yeah, there is. I mean, this was a nothing thing really. Most people was kind of take it as a joke, but yeah, it's only kind of. But yeah, it's nothing really. Literally, it's just one little minor thing really. But I've said the rest of it. So no, as terms of business wise, everything's going as we want.
Yeah, it's like LinkedIn. I do think it's changed. There's some things like over this year, predominantly. I don't know if it's just because everyone's under a little bit more stress, and as business, it does seem to have, some sensitive people out there.
It's turning more as well into like let's say your LinkedIn's or your Instagram and Facebook. It's proper kind of. But when they're looking at when people are researching about how do you get the best leads and how do you get the best kind of acknowledgements of your post, it's a 411 posts. So it's like 4 could be towards the company and 1 could be personal and 1 could be, so there's more and more people now doing personal posts, and just to try and get as much kind of marketing kind of acknowledgement.
They're the ones that it just seems to boom, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know, it's like you've obviously, like for us, how we know, we're seeing your content, you're seeing ours, but you can spend hours doing a video, absolute hours, and you get like 10 likes. And you can do a picture with like me and my brother saying, "Oh, we've been working together now for 7 years." I get 200 likes. You know, like it's just stupid. You know, really, it's like that's a Facebook post, but yet LinkedIn, just almost people can relate to it, can't they? So it just goes.
Maybe
It's
sometimes it's
very
the case
frustrating.
it's not all business then. I mean, maybe people are a bit bored of just scrolling through business. Oh, that's interesting. They've just done that. So
I think it's definitely hard to create content that people enjoy, kind of keep listening to, isn't it?
What have you seen when you're posting? Because obviously you're posting a lot about business. Like we're talking about personal posts, and Mike and I, again, we've seen it a lot. Posting a picture of your dog, or posting a picture that you've gone out for a run at the weekend or something. You get loads more traction, but traction doesn't equal money. So when you're posting about businesses, like what have you found has been working in terms of having a business LinkedIn page? What are the things that you're starting to see that are popping well when you're posting?
it's a hard one at the moment because I've heard a lot from other people as well, is that LinkedIn is changing all the like algorithms. So personally, I think it's more so they can generate more out of boosting posts. So obviously you can pay now to boost your posts and stuff on there as well. So I think they're changing their algorithm so it hits less people. So then you'd be more attracted to boosting your posts. But in terms of when I've been posting, putting pictures up, videos up, that gets a lot more kind of traction than just putting words up. Everyone likes to see a picture, even if the picture's anything. Like you'd get a lot more on there. Obviously make sure you keep hashtagging, putting loads of hashtags on stuff, they're relevant hashtags. Rather than copying people and tagging people in the post itself, tag them in your photos, tag them in the photos on there, and put multiple photos up, because you get a lot more insights on when they're clicking onto your other photos. So if they're being nosy and see like, oh, they've got more than one photo there, let's see the rest of the photos, you get a lot more insights off of picking up the other photos as well. So there's a few little tips there of obviously posting photos, videos, multiple photos, tagging people in your photos instead of tagging them on your actual kind of writing and post.
How often are you posting per day?
I post 5 to 6 times a day at the moment.
It's a lot, isn't it, on LinkedIn? Because a lot of there's almost that. Oh, it's almost a one post a day site. So it's interesting that you're going against the grain and just
The
hammering
problem
it.
is obviously where we're trying to get businesses' name out there as well. I mean, if we've got 365 businesses on there and we're doing one post a day, well, that's businesses only get posted about once a year, isn't it? So I'm trying to get businesses out there at least kind of 10 times a year really at the moment. But as we're growing, I mean, I used to do 3 posts a day, but now we're up to 5 or 6 where I've got so many more members on I've got to post about, or more kind of areas and sectors I've got to post about at the moment. I don't want to become constantly posting 10 or 20 times a day. There will be a limit, and it'll just be a case of, as we're growing our followers, rather than posting about them 10 times a year,
You'll have to reduce.
it'll reduce. But because we've got so many more followers, they're more valuable posts.
Yeah.
So rather than, it won't come down to one post a year and stuff like that. But if we've got 10, 20, 30,000 followers on there as well, is if your business page has only got 100 followers or something like that, and suddenly now we're posting to 30,000, it's a lot more people to see your posts. And I don't necessarily like reposting people's stuff either, but
It's a waste of time, isn't it? It's
but
just,
it keeps it relevant, doesn't it? Because if there's a business posting about what they've just machined or something recently, that's your regular and up-to-date photos and posts, rather than I could copy the same stuff off someone's website or off of their profile and post about it 10 times a year, but everyone's seeing exactly the same stuff. So that's why I kind of try and repost some stuff and add our own kind of words to it, because of at least it's up to date and fresh information of what they do, or they've just bought a new machine, or this is now a thing, the new components now selling, or products. So it's just relevant, up to date information.
Thank you for sticking around till the end of the podcast. To help this channel grow, if you could like it, share it with any of your colleagues or people who are in the metals or engineering or manufacturing sectors, that would be great. Also, you might feel like you're the perfect guest for our podcast to tell your story of your career, or maybe there's someone in your network who you think would be great for us to interview. If you want to get in contact with myself or Peter Comerford, that would be great. We'd also like to take this opportunity to thank our sponsors, Steelbuy, as well as Nero Pipeline. Thanks for watching.